Every parent hopes for a healthy baby and an uncomplicated birth. But sometimes a baby comes too early, or the birth goes wrong. The Women's Hospital in Liverpool is the largest in the country. As a centre of excellence, they pride themselves on being at the cutting edge of neonatal science.
And I always think that this is this first baby's day alive, his first night alive. He's not got his mum, he's not got his dad. We need to take care of him and sort of treat them as if they were our babies, really.
The Neonatal Unit cares for 1,000 babies a year. They're some of the smallest and sickest. Babies who weigh just half a pound and who are on the cusp of life. For parents, it's an emotional roller coaster. They will experience both great sadness and great happiness.
Really happy, just holding him. He's got a really strong grip as well.
Got to get on with it. I'm just grateful that he's here. You know, we all say we want something that challenges through life, and this is a challenge. So bring it on.
It was only about 5 days. He's changed our lives.
There will be heartache and joy. The reality is, some babies will survive and some will not. For any baby, birth is one of the most dangerous moments in its life. At Liverpool Women's Hospital, the Intensive Care Neonatal Unit specialises in caring for babies where there have been complications at birth and a baby has been starved of oxygen.
Feel that, hey? Feel that.
Baby Riley almost died at birth.
That's your mum's tears crying for you, and I'm going to do that many times through the years. Aren't I?
Parents, Laura and Phil, spent the 6 days after Riley's traumatic birth watching him teeter between life and death.
Within the space of 2 minutes, I'd had my stomach cut open and the baby was pulled out. Then he was resuscitated at birth, obviously rushed down here, and by 11 o'clock he was set up like this. He had 3 blood transfusions, he had a full blood exchange. He had tubes in his nose, tubes down his throat, arterial lines in his belly button. He was very sick.
If you don't get enough oxygen to the baby, it will affect all the organs in the body, such as the kidneys, the liver, the heart, the lungs and the bowel. But most of those organs are recoverable. The organ we worry about is the brain. We know that some of the damage to the brain is irreversible and will affect this baby in the long term.
With Riley, Laura and Phil don't know yet whether there has been brain damage. They're just grateful he's alive. They already have a daughter, but 2 years ago they had another baby, Olivia, who was stillborn. Then it was the placenta that came away during the labour. This time with Riley, a blood disorder has been the problem.
Basically what they told me is if I didn't come in when I did, that if I'd have come in the day after when I was due for my induction, I'd have been planning another baby funeral. And I don't think I'd have got through that at all. We all pray that we have a good, healthy baby. But you know what? I just want a baby that I can take home with me this time.
When a baby survives a difficult birth, usually all their organs will recover after a few days. Charlie was born 5 days ago, but still hasn't made the initial recovery. His kidneys aren't working. Amy, his mother, is 18 and is bringing Charlie up on her own, but with the support of her parents.
His main problem is that he hasn't passed urine for a long time now. Most babies in his position usually recover their renal function, their kidney function, fairly soon after birth. And we worry more about the damage that's been done to the brain. So when the kidneys are the main problem, babies who haven't got good kidney function, who can't pass urine, can't survive independently. To a certain extent, we're waiting and seeing what happens. But each day that passes where he doesn't pass any urine, unfortunately, that's a day where his outlook is worse.
You know, you've just got to be positive. And while he's still here, there's still hope. So you've got to make sure that you just keep smiling and keep praying. And just hope that it'll be okay. And it's worth it. I mean, you just got to keep doing everything that you would normally do with a normal baby, as much as you can. Because obviously you can't change them and you can't wash them and bath them like you would normally do. But, you know, you can do as much. You can cuddle them and you can kiss them and you can hold their hand and tell them you love them. Teddy, where's Snuggy, hey? Where's Snuggy? Should we put that over your feet so you don't get cold?
With Charlie so dangerously ill, Amy and her family are making the most of each day with him.
Oh, gorgeous boy. Hello, Mimi. I miss you today.
They're filming Charlie, trying to capture and celebrate his every moment.
Look at that gorgeous face, eh? Look at that gorgeous face.
Pudding pops.
George, you look like a big pudding, don't you? But the mama doesn't mind. No, the mama doesn't mind. Kiss them kidneys. Kiss them kidneys. Make them work. It's the most special thing in the world to be a mum. And I love being a mum. Even though it hasn't been for long, I love being a mum. It's a blessing to have him. Even if he has got a lot of problems, I don't mind. Because I think, well, he's mine. He's no one else's. And I just love him so much.
Very emotive time for Amy and for the family, but for her in particular, you know, she just desperately wants her little boy to get well, and you know, she just is so sad. She's got a big extended family and a big, huge amount of friends. Massive domino effect of love, massive, you know, and that's what's going to wrap her up and keep her strong in the next few weeks, hopefully.
Nine out of 10 babies are born healthy and have straightforward, uneventful births. But at Liverpool Women's Hospital, the Neonatal Intensive Care Unit takes babies from hospitals across the region where there's been asphyxia, a lack of oxygen at birth.
Everyone looks forward to a pregnancy and everyone looks forward to a happy, bouncy baby at the end of the pregnancy. But when it goes wrong, things can go wrong very quickly. And then parents have to meet a baby, but they have to meet a critically ill baby who's on the edge of life and death.
Parents Jason and Nikki very nearly lost their first child. William is 3 weeks old now, and at birth weighed 9 pounds and 11 ounces. During the labour, William inhaled fluids into his lungs, and his whole body was starved of oxygen. It's 3 weeks on, but the worry isn't over.
If a baby has very severe injury, they might be able to breathe but not be able to suck. And we'll be looking for that as a sign to see how severe William's brain injury is. If he can breathe for himself, that's one step forward. If he can take a bottle for himself, that's another step forward. And it will be very encouraging if we can see him take a bottle. So the stakes are very high for William and for his family.
I'll just get you a bottle. That's it. In you go. That's it. Just put it in. No, it's okay. Just put it in. That's it. Just do that.
Do you suck in it?
Yeah.
Oh.
Well done.
You're a good boy, aren't you? Hey? Make your mummy cry as well.
Good boy. Is that nice? Is that nice?
Relieved a little bit, to be honest, because I didn't think he'd. You always have that panic, don't you, that you don't know whether he's going to be able to suck, swallow and breathe at the same time. And to see him actually take as much as he has, it's unbelievable.
Birth ought to be a happy time for families. But for William's parents, the day he was born is more of a nightmare that won't go away.
Yeah. You know, we went in and that morning, and the Wednesday morning, and when they examined him, they said, you know, you're 5 centimetres dilated now, and we thought, right, this is it, you know, a couple of hours' time, you know, baby boy will be born, and that'll be it, and we'll be going home the day after, and it was probably the worst day of my life, to be honest. When he was born, he wasn't actually breathing, so they got him breathing again by massage, and at first, when I seen him, you don't realise how serious it actually was until later on that someone sits you down and tells you, you know, basically, you know, he could basically die, so it was quite upsetting, to be honest.
Rather frightening, really.
Yeah, it is. Very frightening.
Hey. My gorgeous boy, look at all your teddies. That's off Auntie Neve. That's off Jane next door. That's off Mimi and Pop. And you love this one. This is your favourite, isn't it, little fella? Hey?
Charlie's family are recording his life. It's day 7, but his kidneys are still not working, and he remains critically ill.
We love you so much, little man. We just want you to do a wee. Hey.
Amy and her mother haven't moved from the hospital in a week. They want to stay close to Charlie. And they're at Charlie's cot side day and night.
Hiya, you alright? She's writing all of Amy's text messages in her journal. All the messages that people have sent to us on board her journal, and she wants to keep all the text messages because there's so many lovely wishes. So it's keeping me busy while I'm minding Charlie.
Sleeping's very difficult. Leaving him of a night is difficult because I think, will he be there in the morning? You know, because I just think, oh my God, what if he's not? What if he's not?
How's it worked tonight in here? What have you been doing?
We pull that bed out and it goes here. There's blankets as well, and it goes there and there's blankets, and my mum gets into bed there, and then she can hold my hands. And oh, don't get me legs because they're all hairy. She can hold my hand from there to me to here, and it's great. It's a bit tricky when you get enough away in the night, but you know, it's all right. I didn't really want a baby, but I got caught. It was a bit of a shock, especially for me and Paul, because we were, you know, we hadn't been together for a long, long time, and we weren't thinking about kids or nothing like that.
How long did you go out?
A few months. We don't argue because our baby, that's trivial. Our baby's really sick. It's civil, you know what I mean? It's as civil as it can be.
Riley is 7 days old and continues to improve. His mum, Laura, is cherishing every moment she has with him. They are moments she didn't have with Olivia, the baby she lost.
Here's Nanny's present. This is a sample of Riley's poo. Here's his memory box. I should write in his book, really, and sellotape that to it, shouldn't I? I'll put that in, but I'll put it in there for now. I need sellotape, I haven't got sellotape. This is his first saliva. You see where it's gone dry? Around there, it's gone really hard as well now. That's a slobber, that's his poo. I just need one from his wee now, don't I? We've got the full set, each hole. With Olivia, when she was born, we couldn't handle her like a baby. Even though she'd been born and she died, you'd think you'd still be able to give them the cuddles, but you can't, because she started bleeding from her lips and from her nose and from her eyes and from her ears. But things of Olivia's that we got to keep was sympathy cards, that's all, and her ashes. Here's one of his little blankets. He hasn't even had this round him yet. This is his one that he's coming out of hospital with. I can't wait to just have him, like... Where's my teddy bear? Let's see what it'll feel like. There we go. Riley. Oh, I can't wait to hold him, to slug him.
When there've been problems at birth and a baby is left short of oxygen, it can take years for the full extent of brain injury to be clear. The damage may turn out to be so mild as to be unnoticeable, or so severe that the baby effectively remains a baby for the rest of its life.
For me, brain damage is frightening because of communication. If you can't talk to someone that you love, and you can't get their response to what you're saying, then that's the most difficult thing. And for me, that's what many families fear the most.
That's it, go on, he's sucking it now.
So far, William has surprised everyone. But at birth, doctors were so worried, they transferred him to the Women's Hospital for a pioneering new treatment. His body was cooled a couple of degrees. The hope is the cooling treatment might have helped. And today, William's parents get the result of his MRI brain scan.
The basic news about the scan is that it's okay. So,
Sorry, go on.
So that's one part of the story.
Yeah, okay.
And the scan, all the bits of the brain that we worried about after all his troubles, they look okay.
Okay.
So that's strongly reassuring about his brain.
Okay.
Okay. Relief.
You don't understand now. I mean, we just expected the worst, didn't we, all the time? We really have.
What happens next is that we need to get ready for home.
Okay.
Won't be just yet.
No.
But we're looking for him to be able to breathe for himself without oxygen.
Okay.
Feed
For himself.
as you want him to feed.
Yeah.
And keep himself warm.
Right, okay then, great. There's not much more we can say, is there?
No.
Apart from thanks very much.
So yeah, I think it's cuddle time,
Yeah.
feeding
Right,
time.
yeah.
That's the
Yeah, a
most
few
important
phone calls as well, I think, isn't it?
Thank you very
For
much.
family time.
Thank you very much for that.
Okay,
Thank
well,
you.
congratulations.
Thank you.
I think
Thank
it's
you.
doing really well.
Thank you.
She's wanting it.
Yeah.
It's just a feeling that no one will ever understand, never understand what we've gone through over the last 3 weeks. Just to hear that, I think all the way along we've known that, you know, maybe they can do things to fix hearts and kidneys and liver and lungs, but we knew straight away that if it was anything wrong with the brain, that nothing could be done. And to hear that news then was absolutely unbelievable. It's the best thing I've ever heard in my life, I think. Dead right.
On the neonatal unit, parents survive on hope, and often their faith. At times, it can be the only thing that sustains them.
Do you need a little book?
A little, well, the little prayer cards there, yeah.
Yeah, and I'll talk one out.
Oh, bless you. Let's see. Well, shall we pray together, shall we?
Yeah.
Oh, God, thank you for my baby, for the wonder of life and birth, for the excitement. Thank you for the skill and patience of doctors and nurses, for the loving kindness of all who have helped me. Pray, Lord, especially for our beautiful little boy, our little Charlie. We pray, dearest Lord, that you be able to pass this water. Glory be to the Father, and to the Son, and to the Holy Spirit, as it was in the beginning, is now, and ever shall be, world without end. Amen. I've always thought it's wonderful to be involved with families at joyful times, but it's a greater privilege to be involved with families at times of suffering. As soon as you have love in your heart, then you'll suffer. This is the whole thing. It's the inevitable consequence of love is that we suffer. But then, that's how love deepens and grows. There's no easy way to love, to really love.
A parent's desire for their child to survive can transcend all else. Charlie's kidneys still aren't working. His mother Amy knows he also has some brain damage. Today, she'll learn the extent of the injury. Amy wants Paul, the baby's father, to be present.
So you don't want anyone with you now, you sure?
I'm okay.
Okay. I just got to tell you about the brain scan and where we are generally and try and make a plan for what happens next, really. Is that all right?
Right, that's fine.
It's uncertain, first of all, whether he'll pull through or not because of his kidneys. And it's uncertain if he does pull through how severe his disability will be, but it's likely to be... He'll have some disability. On the scan, you can see there's quite a lot of brightness on the front, or the left side of the brain, and on the back, on the right side, which is damage caused by lack of oxygen. And the part of the brain which is most commonly damaged with this sort of problem is the part that controls movement, so the children get a physical disability called cerebral palsy.
Okay, what's that?
Okay, so it's a very variable condition. Some children with CP, cerebral palsy, have problems with things like learning, communication, and they can have very severe disability.
You can't tell the severity of the brain damage at this moment, can you?
No.
Well, no, that doesn't matter. I'm bothered.
Okay.
It's
I'm
okay.
just trying to get a bigger picture.
Well, I think the right question is, what we have to decide with babies like this is, can we make him better or not? And if we can, then we do it. There's still a possibility this disability might be of a degree that he can still have a good quality of life. And on that basis, I think it's reasonable to carry on doing what we're doing at the moment. But if his brain scan starts to get worse, or his fit starts to get worse, then we might need to think about whether we're doing the right thing for him. Does that make sense? Have you got any questions about that? And that's a really hard thing to hear, but it's really important for you as mum and dad that you need to have all the information. So if we're making decisions, you're fully informed.
It's 3 weeks since Riley was born. He's out of intensive care now, although he's a little jaundiced and still needs some help with his breathing. Today, his parents have been given the results of his MRI scan.
There's some damage to the front and the back of the brain, but they can't tell us to what severity it is. They grade it between a 1 and a 3, 1 being good, 3 being the highest, and they've said Riley's 2, which is moderate. It's development stages now, so when he gets to 8 months, if he's sitting up, if he's crawling, if he starts to walk, it's the part of the brain that can affect his limbs. So just a waiting game now.
What's your worst fears, do you think?
My worst fears? That he won't be able to walk or something like that. Do the things that little boys do and stuff. His behaviour signs are good at the moment. With him, he's taking bottles, he's got a gagging and a suck reflex. But the movements don't come from the part of the brain where when you're an adult, his movements are baby reactions. They're not proper movements, so there's just no way of telling until he gets older.
Oh, he's here though, Phil. I didn't get that with Olivia, did we? We've got him here. He's got a heartbeat. That's all that matters.
He's got his arms up for you. That's what he wants.
Give us some support.
It's the first time Amy has held Charlie. It's day 9 of his life. His condition remains unchanged. The next day, Charlie's morphine has been increased, and doctors are trying new medicines to encourage his kidneys to work.
Oh, little man.
You're okay. You're okay.
How are you doing? Fine. Fine. I've got all my tears have gone now. Just want to be with him. And you are? Aren't you? Yeah.
I think Charlie's outlook is very poor, really. At the moment, he's very stable, but if we decided that he wasn't going to survive, despite our best efforts, that we may choose to then withdraw intensive care. No family wants to let go of their baby in a situation like this, and you're always hoping for the miracle to happen, and whether that's today or the next day, you'd be willing to give your baby, just one more day. But I think as time goes by, especially in Charlie's case, things are becoming more and more clear that things aren't going to work out as we would like them to.
Amy has now asked to spend as much time as possible holding Charlie, and she's starting to prepare.
She knows that she won't be very logical if the time comes that he's not. She's told that there isn't any hope left, so she's prepared her list, and it's just what she wants for Charlie, her preparations for him, that you've got to do for your child in the most logical way. She wants to wash him, she wants to dress him, she wants to hold him, she wants to kiss him all over, she wants to feel his hair, She didn't hold him till yesterday, and she wants to feel him next to her. Those things that are so important to her.
So. She's only 18.
Doesn't matter how old she is, she's a very good mum to Charlie. And that's the key thing. She just does it because she knows as a mum, as we all do, she has to do what's right for him. And she is. She's just an inspiration. And that's where we get our strength from. I think, really. They're proud of her.
You can come closer if you want. Do you want to come and see him?
Yeah.
Come and see him. Here's Lynn, come to see you. Here's Lynn, come to see you. Hey.
He's looking very settled.
Very peaceful. Very peaceful, aren't you, little fella? But he's just so lovely and he's so peaceful at the minute. And that's the way I want it to be. It's the way I want it to be, little man. I don't want you in any pain. Best experience ever. It's just so lovely. Everybody takes it for granted.
On day 12 of Charlie's life, his family, together with the medical team, have decided they will later withdraw intensive care. Charlie's family want to keep filming, to have a record of his last day of life. In the evening, intensive care will be withdrawn. For now, Charlie remains on a ventilator and on morphine so that he's free of pain. He's being moved to another room where his whole family are gathering to be with him and to say goodbye. On the Neonatal Unit, miracles are rare. Young lives may be lost, but they are also saved. Baby William has gone from strength to strength.
You know him, Margaret, in Tom?
I do, yeah. It's looking good.
He's doing really well. He's much, much better with his feeding than he was at the beginning of the week.
After 6 weeks in hospital, he's put on another 2 pounds, and today is well enough for a little adventure.
But we couldn't put him in the buggy then.
Well, I'll get him a pram.
And they could wander around the hospital a little bit, perhaps.
Yeah, see why not?
Yeah, it's a weekend recreation if he's comfortable and stable. Okay, great. Well, I'm very satisfied with how he's getting along. Congratulations.
Where are we going, eh? Where are we going? Here you go. Oh, what's this? Eh? What's this? Oh. Where are we going? Hey? Where are we going? Should we go down that way? Yeah, we'll go down this way first. First big outing.
You must have thought you'd never get to this.
No, not from the start. When I first seen him after the first day of him being born and whatever, he just, I mean, this is like a million miles away from where he was. Absolutely. You feel so much, and all for the other people that are near, that you know what they're going through. And to see him how he is now, it's as if sometimes you don't like, it's not like celebrating it because you know there's that many other people around that's really, really got sick babies and that. And so we can celebrate it in here, can't we, when no one can see us?
A week later, William finally made it home for good. And today is flourishing. From nearly dying at birth, Riley is now doing so well that he's been moved to the nursery.
When I came in this morning, she said, well, take your top off and we'll put Riley underneath. So it's actually it's underneath my top. I'm doing skin to skin. Good boy, lifting your head up. You strong little boy.
Riley's doing well, but his survival has been at a price. He has some brain damage.
To understand what's going on in his brain is going to take years. We'll get there. We've got lots of family and friends, haven't we, all waiting to meet you when we go home. Lots of toys. Eh? Lots of noisy toys at that as well, to stimulate your brain. Just got to get on with it. I'm just grateful that he's here, so, you know, can't dwell on it. Just look forward to it. It's a challenge, isn't it, in life? You know, we all say we want something that challenges through life, and this is a challenge. So bring it on.
Riley left hospital 5 days later. Doctors will be monitoring his development, but he's making excellent progress. It's been 4 months since Charlie died. His mum, Amy, has gone back to work as a hairdresser. She's still grieving for her son.
It's lovely where he's buried under a tree with a few other babies, and, you know, it's perfect where it is. I love going. It makes me feel at peace and at ease when I go. I love making it nice and neat and tidy for him, because he's my baby and that's the only thing I can do for him now, is to tidy his grave. It's where he rests in peace.
He's with other children?
Yeah, he's with other babies.
What was your thought there?
At first, I was a bit upset because I wanted him to be on his own, but the more I thought about it at the time, I thought, well, actually, he's with babies of his own age and mum and dads who are in the same predicament as me, and, you know, I know it's a bit funny, but I think, like, they're all together, all the babies are together, and, you know, they're next to each other, and it's just so lovely how close they are, and I think, well, maybe they'll just be little friends in heaven then, you know.
Today, in celebration of Charlie's life, Amy has organised a sponsored walk. She's raising money for the Neonatal Unit at Liverpool Women's Hospital.
That's fine.
It's in his name, so we wouldn't be doing it if it wasn't for the joy that we had of him. And I think that's just, you know, what we can celebrate today. We can just celebrate the fact that we did have him. You know, we had a wonderful experience of 12 days with him. And here we are trying to give back.
Ames, you need to come now, love.
No, I'm going to come in a minute, Mum.
It's so poignant today that we remember that she is still his mummy. He mightn't be here, but she is Charlie's mummy and she always will be. And in the future, when she goes on to have a family, Amy will say to her children, you know, also you've got a brother and he's up in heaven, and he was called Charlie. So, yeah, this is Charlie's mummy.